You know, sometimes I'm just in the mood for a quick guilty pleasure binge. And that's where Netflix's original series, Into the Night, comes in. It's got high drama and it's quick to watch. But did I enjoy it? A catastrophic global event seems to be tied to the sun, and a group of strangers are on a plane and they have to continually fly west in order to beat the sunrise so that they can stay where it is night and where it is dark. So the question then comes for this series, will they survive their globetrotting adventure? It's an ensemble cast where everybody has their secrets. And then when you put them into these high tension situations and just high stress environments, their character gets tested. I really got some Lord of the Flies vibes as tensions started to mount and arguments arose, and it just called into question, can people live autonomously and at peace within this small confined area, or do they need a leader? Do they need some rules? Do they need some just laws to adhere to and to be guided by? But then who's in charge? Who makes up those rules? Who enforces the rules? How do you maintain or ensure that justice is delivered equally and appropriately? Now, the cast has a range of likability to it, but it's also kind of like a reality TV show where they put a lot of polar opposites into this one situation so that you know that there will be conflict, that things are not going to work out awesomely every single time. You'll have a Muslim and a Christian who are just on polar opposites of their ideals. A healthcare worker who's not necessarily going to see eye to eye with a soldier. And then obviously the mom with a sick child is not going to share the same motivations with the pragmatic mechanic. I know a lot of the actions are predictable, but it's there to just incite some anxiety and some tension. That you know that once all these people in a tight quarters and then you amp up the anxiety and just the pressure that they're in, they're going to explode. They're going to rub each other the wrong way. And that's exactly what the writers, the producers, the directors of the show are trying to do. They're trying to just make it an exciting watch in the time that they've got. And those tensions and that anxiety, it works well for the narrative as long as you go along with it and you just believe that it's not meant for some great deeper discourse. This is just for some entertainment and a guilty pleasure at that. There's a big assumption made in the show and you can't be hung up on it or tied to it too tightly, otherwise it won't work. And that's that the people in the plane, that they will have some positive outcome for the rest of the world. That, okay, if they continue to fly west and they continue to survive, can they change the course? Can they make it better? Can they improve it? Can they solve the catastrophe that's going on? And the showrunners want us to believe that these characters can have an impact, that they are important enough to be able to solve the problem. And so as long as you can make that leap, as long as you can go along with that and just kind of say, okay, I'll accept it for the show, then you can get some enjoyment out of this. Sometimes you just need to go on the ride, even if it's not a good one, because the journey makes it worth the trip. And that's the same here. I mean, the story, the series, it has its problems. It has its holes. But as long as you're willing to just kind of dive in and go with the absurdities of certain situations and let the anxiety and the tension and the drama that they're pushing just envelop you and go along for the ride and suspend a lot of your belief, then this becomes quite enjoyable. Now, we do get a medium amount of backstory in our characters, but not all at once. And so as each episode begins to focus maybe a little bit more on one or two characters, we get to learn more about them. Season 1 is only 6 episodes long, and all of the episodes are around the 35-ish minute range. So this is a very quick watch. So obviously they can't pack too much into that time to give us a lot of backstory, but it's enough to make us connect at least somewhat with some of the characters. Now, I am hoping that if they continue this and they bring us a season 2, that maybe we'll continue to get more and more backstory on some of these people, especially the characters that really matter. Now, this isn't one to drop everything and add immediately to your watch list. But if you're in the mood for something a little bit fun, that's a quick watch with a lot of amped up drama, then you might want to check it out. I had fun with it. There is sex, nudity, profanity, and violence. I give Into the Night 3 out of 5 couches. So do you have a guilty pleasure show or movie that you just absolutely love? Maybe nobody else knows about it? Now's your time to confess. Put it in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for catching with me.